they see the board. All right, go ahead.
Okay, I got side, little signers and grant, and then car and Joe. Whatever.
You said Car and Joe, so CARNGOE. Is that right? Okay, awesome. Portia, tell us, do you agree or disagree?
I do.
Okay, awesome. You can have a seat. Just to be clear, just to be sure that she got them in the correct order, I'm going to look at what path she took. She put CAR. So this side was first and this side was second. So the one side and then the three side. So over here we should do the one side and then the three side. So if we did that, it should actually be GEO. So you need to make sure that in your congruent statement, C and G match up, A and E match up, and R and O match up. All right, what questions do you have over the bell ringer? All right, next thing I need you to do is get out your worksheet, 8.1 worksheet that I just passed back to you. I graded it based on completion. You are going to grade it based on accuracy. So I'm going to, whenever I check back over it, I'll look and see if you made corrections. I'm going to need you to make corrections with either a pen or a colored pencil or a marker. If you don't have your own, I have some up here that you can borrow. Just make sure you return it after we're done grading the worksheet. All right, so on the front page, it asks, is there enough information for you to conclude that the point is on the bisector, either the perpendicular bisector or the angle bisector? Okay. All right, so in order to determine that it's on the perpendicular bisector, the lines have to be perpendicular, so there has to be a right angle, and the segments need to be shown that they are congruent. Okay. So on number one, the answer is yes. You can tell it's a perpendicular bisector, and that's because line TP and line RS are perpendicular because there's a right angle. And I put me a point because P wasn't on the segment RS, it was just on the line. So I put me a point right here and named it B, and I said that RB is congruent to BS. Okay. Or you could have said that, you know, the two segments are congruent, or you could have said it passes through the midpoint, okay? So you had to have said something, for instance, like these are perpendicular, and then either that these are congruent or these are congruent. Either one will be fine. Number two is yes, it is the perpendicular bisector, and that's because T is equidistant to the point R and S. So as long as T is equidistant, you can say it's on the perpendicular bisector. Number three, it's yes, the angle bisector. And that's because point P is equidistant to the side ED and FP. Okay, so it's equidistant to the side, so we're good. You can say that it is the angle bisector. All right, yes, question?
Do you want us to say equidistant, or can we just say that the two lines are congruent?
You can say that they're congruent.
Okay.
It means congruent, equidistant means the same thing.
Okay.
All right, on the bottom part, number 4, you would not be able to say it's the perpendicular bisector because PQ is not marked perpendicular. So you cannot say it. There's no right angle there. On number 5, no, because there's no indication that DP and PF are congruent. There's also no indication that angle DEP or FEP are congruent. You would need at least one of those to be marked. You would either need the angles to be marked or these sides right here to be marked. On number 6, yes, because DE and EF are congruent. So that means that DQE is congruent to FQE. And this angle here, EQ or EDQ and EFQ are right angles. So you could have included that also. But yes, this would be an angle bisector. Okay. What questions do you have on those? 4, 5, and 6. Okay, turn it over to the back page. For number 7, you should have gotten 20. For number 8, you should have gotten 14. For number 9, you should have gotten 7.3. For number 10, you should have gotten 14.6. For number 11, you should have gotten 56 degrees. And for number 12, you should have gotten 126 degrees. And then for number 13, if line M is the perpendicular bisector, then that means that every point on that line is equidistant to the endpoints. So if you look at point Q, it's 13 to point P, but 12 to point R. So no, it would not be on the perpendicular bisector because these two segments are not congruent. If it's on the perpendicular bisector, these would have to be the same number. So these are not congruent, so Q is not on the perpendicular bisector. If I were to extend this line, it would not go through Q. It would actually go a little bit above it. However, point S is equidistant to the endpoints, so therefore it would be on the perpendicular bisector. So Q is no, but S is yes because PS is congruent to RS.
Can you go back to number 6?
I'm sorry?
Can you go back to number 6?
Yes, segment DE is congruent to segment EF, and angles QDE and QFE are right angles.
So it doesn't matter where the point is, we just look to see if they're congruent, if they're right angles.
You're talking about here? Yeah, because it's just asking you, is this point P on the angle bisector? So they're just asking you, is this line the angle bisector? Is this line the angle bisector? Is this line the perpendicular bisector? Yeah. All right. What you're going to do today, you're going to use this assignment plus your notes. And you will go to, in just a moment, not yet, you will go to Big Ideas Math and you will complete 8.1 practice on Big Ideas Math. This assignment is due at the end of class today. You do not have to show your work on a piece of paper. However, if you do, turn it in to me when you're done. When you are finished with the 8.1 practice, after you get it submitted, then you need to do Chapter 8 vocab. The words are listed in your student journal, and the page numbers are written on the board up there. I'll have the light on so you can see the page numbers. And you can either write the definitions in your student journal or on a piece of paper, and then turn it in to me. That is due tomorrow at the beginning of class, unless you finish it today. Then you can turn it in today.
Tomorrow at the beginning of class?
The vocab is. Okay. What questions do you have for me on the assignment? Okay. All right, so open up your Chromebooks. Go ahead.